Hi, this is John Hampton with Ireland Television. Today we're going to talk about a highway that's near and dear to my heart as we continue our Alabama State Highway series. This is Alabama Highway 127, a highway in the north central part of the state. Highway that I lived near for 6 years from 1998 to 2002 and loved every minute of the time I spent down there on Alabama Highway 127. So as you see from the map here, Alabama Highway 127 starts just north of Athens, Alabama, and travels in Limestone County for the entire length of its route from Athens through Elkmont and all the way to the Tennessee state line, where it becomes Tennessee Highway 166 on its way to Pulaski, Tennessee. Now, we are going to start by talking about northbound Alabama Highway 127. And I'm just going to let you know that it goes a pretty good, decent amount of way before you see your first reassurance shield. In fact, we'll be passing several pretty major intersections before you see your very first reassurance shield. Traveling northbound on Alabama Highway 99, also known as Elm Street, you'll come across two railroad tracks, and then you'll come across a separate railroad track. After you come across that separate track, the third track, you will come upon a sign that says Junction, Alabama Highway 127, directly in front of the Limestone County Sheriff's Department facility there on Elm Street. If you travel just a little bit further down the street before you get to the junction, you'll see another sign that says Alabama Highway 127 with an arrow that points to the right. It lets you know it's not a direct right, but it's coming up very quickly. And actually, that's the only other notification you get coming northbound on Alabama Highway 99 that you're approaching the intersection. Traveling westbound on Alabama Highway 99 towards the intersection with Alabama Highway 127 is a different story. You get absolutely no signs for Alabama Highway 127 traveling southbound, not westbound, on Alabama Highway 99. I'm sorry I said westbound earlier. But yes, no intersection information. This is the actual intersection where you turn on Alabama Highway 127 going north. And this is the first major intersection you come to going north. This is Piney Chapel Road at Alabama Highway 127, approximately 2 miles and a half north of the junction of Alabama Highway 99. Just of note that Uncle Bud's Mini Mart on the right hand side of the screen is the same as it was when I lived there in 1998 to 2002. I actually ate many a biscuit from there during the mornings. And then just beyond that, you will see Cross Key Road to your left, which is the next major intersection. Cross Key Road connects to Easter Ferry Road, which would take you to western Limestone County. And that's actually the road that I lived on for all the years that I lived in Limestone County from 1998 to 2002. That's where I moved from Nashville, as a matter of fact. Love that street. Then just beyond that, the next major intersection is a street that turns off to the west, Kaufman Road. There are actually a couple roads that connect both Kaufman and Cross Key, one of them being Old Elkmont Road, and the other one being, of course, Easter Ferry Road. Well, either one of those will take you to either one, Kaufman or Cross Key Road, if you're traveling in that part of the county. Just beyond Kaufman, we have a split. You can continue on Alabama Highway 127. You have to go to the left fork of the split. If you're traveling on the right fork of the split, that is Hayes Mill Road, which is a major thoroughfare in Limestone County that connects several different communities. And of course, there's no sign letting you know to continue to the left to be on Alabama Highway 127. But just beyond that intersection, we do get our first north Alabama Highway 127 reassurance shield. At this point, we're approximately about 5 miles or so from the junction of Alabama Highway 99. So you've traveled at least 5 miles or so before you get your first northbound reassurance shield, letting you know you're still on Alabama Highway 127. And just a ways beyond that, we have Whitty Mill Road turning off to the left. Unfortunately, if you're traveling northbound on Google Maps, that's where our images are from, the image you get for this is from 2007. So it's a really old, grainy looking image. I do apologize for the quality of the image, but that's all that they provided for me of that intersection if you're traveling northbound. And just a couple miles beyond that is Sulphur Creek. You cross Sulphur Creek on a bridge there on Alabama Highway 127, fairly close to the historic Battle of Sulphur Creek Trestle that was on the old railroad that traveled in Limestone County. It's no longer there. It's now part of Rails to Trails in Limestone County. And there's something about that I'll notate on the southbound travel. Just beyond that, if you continue traveling north for a couple more miles, you will get a welcome to Elkmont sign, or actually says Elkmont Town Limit in this case. But yes, at that sign you're entering the Elkmont Town Limit. Elkmont is a small town serving a very active population in Limestone County. And your major intersection is Alabama Highway 127 in Limestone County is Upper Fort Hampton Road. And approaching Upper Fort Hampton Road, you get a reminder that if you turn right on Upper Fort Hampton Road, it will eventually take you to Interstate 65, traveling north and south across Tennessee and Alabama. And then, of course, you will come to the intersection with Upper Fort Hampton Road, and you'll notice that the 265 arrow is a little bit discolored. They used a darker shade of blue on the arrow than they did on the rest of the sign, which kind of makes it a little bit discolored. You would turn right also at this intersection to go into downtown Elkmont, as well as the evacuation route for Browns Ferry Nuclear Plant, should you ever have to evacuate that area because of the nuclear plant. And then just beyond Upper Fort Hampton Road, continuing north on Alabama Highway 127, you do get a North Alabama Highway 127 reassurance shield, letting you know that you are indeed still on the state highway. There's quite a few industrial type functions on this part of Alabama Highway 127 that you will see before rejoining the countryside north of Elkmont. And then, just before getting to Tennessee, we crossed the beautiful Elk River on what is known as the Maples Bridge on Alabama Highway 127. This is the view of the Elk River northbound. You'll see the southbound view here in a minute when we turn around coming southbound on the highway. And, of course, just beyond the Elk River, yep, you get another northbound Alabama Highway 127 reassurance shield, letting you know you're still on Alabama Highway 127, traveling northbound. Even though we're just a mile or so from Tennessee at that point, you still get another reassurance shield before you hit the state line, letting you know that you're still indeed on Alabama Highway 127. Now, coming southbound, we'll show some different slides at different points of interest. Speaking of the Tennessee state line, just as you get to Alsup Road, that's ALSUP Road, you'll get a beautiful Tennessee state line sign, letting you know you're indeed passing over into Tennessee. Right there at that intersection actually marks the state line for Tennessee and Alabama with Alabama Highway 127. So Alsup Road pretty much is the state line. And then just as you cross over to Tennessee, You do get a northbound reassurance shield for Tennessee Secondary Highway 166. Note the triangle-shaped highway sign, and that says it's still northbound on Tennessee Highway 166. And how you know the Tennessee secondary versus primary? Secondary highways have a triangle. Primary highways is a square with a beautiful mockingbird symbol on it. Now we're going to turn around and we're going to come southbound on Alabama Highway 127. The southbound portion of the highway is actually marked pretty well. We will not be showing all the reassurance shields for the southbound portion, but we will be showing some different points of interest than we were showing northbound. So to give you a little bit more varied of a tour here as we go southbound. And of course, right there at the state line, that's Alsop Road, you do not get an Alabama welcome sign on this highway for whatever reason. Alabama has not put a state line or welcome to Alabama or Alabama the beautiful, fill in a blank for your current governor. Kind of sound like you get on all the other Alabama state and federal highways. Just a Alsop Road interchange. And just beyond Alsop Road, you get your first reassurance shield saying South Alabama Highway 127. So that lets you know that you're no longer on Tennessee Secondary Highway 166, but you're indeed in Alabama and on Alabama Highway 127. That's really the only way traveling southbound that you know you've crossed the state line is the different number highway and the different highway shield. And before we get to Elk River, I'm sorry. Before we get to Elk River, we actually have a major interchange that I did not show you northbound. This is Leggtown Road, spelled Leggtown. And Leggtown is a small community in northern Limestone County, pretty much at the state line. So yes, Leggtown Road will take you to the community of Leggtown. And then of course, just beyond Leggtown Road, we get to Elk River Bridge, and this is the view of the Elk River traveling southbound. Elk River starts at the Tennessee River in southern Limestone County, travels through the county just west of Athens and just west of Elkmont, crosses over Alabama Highway 127 just south of the Tennessee state line, where Elk River continues to travel all the way to Fayetteville, Tennessee. And just as you pass the Elk River Bridge, you do have a little dirt road that comes off of Alabama Highway 127. This is the Maples Bridge boat ramp where people can launch boats for the Elk River. Elk River has some great fishing in it. Also some great boating, especially if you go south on the river towards the Tennessee River. The river gets very wide as it approaches the Tennessee River. And like I said, it's a great river to enjoy for navigation and recreation. And then, of course, we get our Elkmont town limit sign coming southbound. Actually, I think I got the slides out of order, so let me stop here. I do have them out of order. This is the Elkmont town limit sign coming southbound. And that you just seen is one approaching over Fort Hampton Road where it says Elkmont and points to the left. It's actually pointing to downtown Elkmont. So I do apologize for having the slides out of order there. But yes, you get Elkmont town limit, and then you get one saying Elkmont where it turns to the left just before you get to Upper Fort Hampton Road. And speaking of Upper Fort Hampton Road, that's this interchange where we're at now. So once again, you turn left going to downtown Elkmont. They just say Elkmont. They don't say downtown Elkmont on that sign I mentioned earlier. But you are already in Elkmont proper. That just takes you to downtown Elkmont. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn left onto Upper Fort Hampton Road. Here's a little detour. And we'll take a look at a couple things that way. So just after you turn off of Highway 127, there's the Old Gin House Barbecue. Ate there many times. Good barbecue. Good vegetables, good desserts. Everything they have on the menu is good. There's so much good things on the menu. There's a hard choice to recommend just one. I would recommend no eating there because I don't think you'll be disappointed. And then, of course, this is downtown Elkmont. What you're seeing here. The caboose on the right is a caboose that is on the Old Rails to Trails trail. It is an authentic L&N caboose. And on the left, you see some of the older businesses. And there's also a park and a town hall just begun where we're seeing right here. So let's travel back onto 127 here. And just before we get to Sulphur Creek traveling southbound, we have a historical marker on the side of the road on Alabama Highway 127. You should be able to see it on the right hand side of the highway in this picture I've got right here in front of you. This is a historical marker for the Civil War, and we will see a close-up of it here in a second. There we go. This is a close-up showing that this is indeed a marker commemorating the Battle of Sulphur Creek Trestle that happened on the railroad trestle just east of this location along Sulphur Creek. That railroad trestle can be walked on these days as part of the Rails to Trails celebration. And then traveling southbound, we get once again to Whitty Mill Road. Thankfully, traveling southbound, we have a newer Google Map image of Whitty Mill, so you can see a little bit better what it looks like traveling southbound. So I wanted to make sure I included this image on our southbound traversing of Alabama Highway 127. And then, of course, just beyond that, we get to the interchange of Hayes Mill Road and Alabama Highway 127. Coming from the north, you can see how sharp the turn is to turn into Hayes Mill Road. When I lived here, I've seen many an accident in that turn. So just remember, if you are traveling that highway, to be very careful in that turn, especially if you're coming from the north and trying to turn on to Hayes Mill Road. And then, of course, if you turn on Cross Key Road, that's where I lived for 6 years at the corner of Cross Key Road and Poff Lane. The house looks a little different than it did when I lived there, but that's pretty much the spot where I lived for 6 years on your screen right now, at the corner of Cross Key Road and Poff Lane in Athens, Alabama, just off of Alabama Highway 127. Continuing to travel southbound on Alabama Highway 127, once we get back on 127, we get to Piney Chapel Road and Sewell Road. Sewell Road will take you over to Easter Ferry Road, whereas Piney Chapel Road will take you all the way over to Interstate 65, where it becomes a service road for Interstate 65 until it runs into Elkton Road, which continues as a service road all the way to the state line. And then, of course, this would be where you would normally find the Athens City Limits sign, because this is where you join Athens City Limits, just north of Airport Road on Alabama Highway 127. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, there is not an Athens City Limits sign posted here. It just does not have one for whatever reason, and I can't even remember there being one there when I lived there. So just let you know, that's something that's been on for a long time. And then, of course, traveling just south of Airport Road, you'll get to a sign that says Junction, Alabama Highway 99. That means we're getting close to the southbound end of Alabama Highway 127, where it joins up with Alabama Highway 99. In Athens. And then, of course, just a few yards beyond that sign, you get two signs for Alabama Highway 99. One saying northbound turns right, southbound turns left, coming off of Alabama Highway 127. Does not tell you that turning southbound would take you to Interstate 65 and Alabama, or rather U.S. Highway 31, while turning east or north will take you over to Leicester. And then, of course, this is the end of Alabama Highway 127. If you look across the road at the traffic light next to the Exxon station, you will see an end Alabama 127 sign. Turning to the left on Highway 99 puts you over to Interstate 65. Turning right on Alabama Highway 99 takes you to Leicester. Continuing straight on Jefferson Street takes you to downtown Athens. And so here's my way it should be for Alabama Highway 127. A lot of the state highways here in Alabama do not have control city signs, but if they did, I would say northbound Elkmont and then Pulaski, Tennessee. And then coming southbound out of Tennessee, I would say Elkmont and then Athens would be appropriate for control cities for Alabama Highway 127.